All right, hello and welcome. So many of you probably know Asmongold watched my video recently and put out his own reaction to it, which was freaking awesome to watch. Like, it was really, what's the word I'm looking for? It was surreal to see him joking around, making fun in a good way, and just watching my video. And it was super, super awesome. So I've gotten a little bit more attention on this content that is not my normal content, but some of the attention has been criticisms that some of the things that I said. Since then, the devs have said they're going to change things, and so apparently now I'm misleading because I put this out, which, okay, bro, you know why they're changing things, right? Like, they're changing things because they got feedback that what they're doing is negative, that people don't like it. Some of that feedback was from content creators, some of it was from the community. If we don't provide that feedback, they have no reason. They're not changing it because they just like, oh, you know what, actually, I don't think this is a good idea. No, they're changing it because the community said this is a bad idea, you shouldn't do this. So why you would criticize, especially if you don't think that stuff was good, someone for putting out a video and then having the devs come out and say, like, that's exactly what you want to happen, that's exactly what you're looking for. So it's just kind of weird to me, but there is something that is true to it, is that this has come out and I haven't put out a video talking about it, and so there is new information that's not in that video. It couldn't be in that video because it's after the video is made, but now we can talk about it. So let's go through it, because some people think that video was somehow invalidated, which is absolutely not. There are some things about it that have changed, so let's just cover what has changed according to the devs and what has not changed, and we're going to look at what it was that we were concerned about in that video and see where it relates to what's changing now. So in the original video that I did, my concerns were mostly around the gacha pet system, that system where you have to roll for pets, or pull for pets, excuse me, and you can buy pulls and you want to get legendary pets. Some people are arguing that you don't always want legendary, sometimes you want epic. Sure, okay, bro, you still have to pull for those, doesn't matter. That's completely irrelevant to the idea. If even one person needs a legendary pet, then all that system still is completely true. Everything is true. And if you need an epic one instead, okay, so it's maybe slightly better for you. You're still going to try to pay to get them. I don't, some of these logic, I just don't get them. But anyway, that system was my primary concern. And then the hero traits, the legendary ones, were also behind a gacha. That was also a concern on top of it. And then that there was pay to win in the seasonal pass. So those are my three primary concerns. If all three of those are removed, it's not like a perfect monetization game. There are other issues I didn't even talk about, which we'll kind of go through here, like the trade house, booth tabs that you could purchase. I didn't talk about any of that stuff. Those are the three things I talked about. If all that goes away, the game is in a far better state with monetization. And I have a lot fewer issues, than I'd probably play it myself. And I want that, by the way. Like, I thought this game was fun. I said that in my video. I think this game's a lot of fun. I want to play it, but I will not play it in the state that it's in. So let's see how much of what I didn't like has now changed. Okay, so we're not going to go through like the greetings hunters and stuff like that, but let's look at the specific spots on here. So the first thing is trade house booth tabs. This is something, like I said, I didn't even mention this. That you had to buy additional tabs to sell on the auction house. The auction house, by the way, itself is not pay to win. There's no way to use like real money to buy stuff directly from them. I'm sure some people can get around it through their own personal trades, but the game itself is not incorporating that in there. There's no way like in Lost Ark where you can do that. You actually use real money to buy stuff off their auction house. You can't in this game. That's a good thing. But they did allow you to purchase booth tabs so that you could increase the amount of things you could sell, which of course is a pretty significant benefit. And so what they're going to do is they're going to give you like more slots on the baseline, and the price is going to be cheaper, and you get some to the season pass, which, okay, cool. This is kind of like PoE-ish to me, like the PoE stash tab. So I don't like that either, but this is not like my primary concern. I'm not super concerned about this. This is not the super predatory stuff that I think is just like a moral issue. This is not in that realm. So great that they're making some changes here. Not my primary concern. The next one, though, is actually within my primary concern area. Well, it's a secondary, I guess, the gacha hero trade. So it's not to me as pervasive as the gacha pet system, which has much more of a long-term gambling feel to it, because I'm assuming that the legendaries don't take quite as long to get. But they were still a gacha system. They still were predatory. They still were a problem. So what have they done here? We'll just go down to the bottom here and look at the exact changes they're going to make. All future new heroes, in other words, their first hero traits will be directly unlocked via purchasing the season pass. So they've moved this to the season pass, which makes it not a gambling thing. It's just a straight buy. Is it you're still paying for power? Yeah, absolutely. You're still paying for power, but at least it's not the gambling section, so it's a little bit less predatory, so that's good. The other hero traits like Gemma's Frostbitten Heart and Carino's Lethal Flash will be available for direct purchase. So again, not the gambling system. Now you just buy it outright. You can see this as similar to buying heroes in League of Legends, and I'm fine with that. That's cool. We can call it that, and we can say, okay, this is no longer... Like, you could still argue there's some pay-to-win concept here, some pay for power. It feels like a really powerful hero. But this is not like a significant concern for me. This is not the kind of stuff that I'm really worried about, because, you know, buying a hero is, it's just not the same as buying gear. It's more of a play style change with, you know, the caveat that yes, sometimes they're meta, and that is somewhat of a problem, but this is much lower on the spectrum of concern of pay to win, and definitely not much of a concern at all as far as predatory stuff, because you're just like, okay, here's $5, $10, whatever it is, give me my thing, good, we're done, transaction complete. They also said, in addition, we will increase the avenues available to obtain hero traits for free. Other hero traits can also be unlocked by accumulating in-game resources, accomplishing certain achievements like Yauga's second hero trait, Space-Time Elapse. So good. More ways to get it in the game. Is this a perfect system? Absolutely not. I still would rather this stuff all be in-game. That's my preference. That's what I think is like the ideal. But this is definitely better, and it's now no longer a gacha hero trait system. Great, you know. Okay, I can mark that off the list as a serious concern of mine at this point. Not perfect, but acceptable. What about the season pass? Because people are like, you know, they moved the auto pickup to free now, right? Like, cool, but not my issue. Like, I even pointed out in the video that that could be considered quality of life, like stash tabs. And you can make that argument, and I'm not gonna argue against you on that because it's such a small thing. My concern was with getting free or additional pulls in the gacha system in the hero pass. So or the season pass, excuse me. Let's see what's changed there. So now you get a pack of 12 booth tab slots from the trade house, which we mentioned earlier, which again was not one of my concerns in the video, but good. The first hero trait for the new hero in the current season, such as Thea's Wisdom of the God. Remember, this stuff is all the purchasable stuff. So this is all the paid season pass now has this. So you're actually getting a little bit extra power, so to speak. I use power here kind of loosely, and I apologize. You're getting extra benefit in game from the season pass for these things. We aren't making the season pass better. The next one is technically the base auto pickup will be released in the free season pass rewards and will not have to be unlocked by a purchase anymore. Okay, cool. So now you get the auto pickup stuff. There's a premium version of this, by the way. I haven't seen anything in here that says it's going to go away. That gives you even more pickup. I bet you that one's not in the free. So this is only, but still it's better. Sure, it's definitely better. And that's it. That's all they have here. That's all of their adjustments. So what's missing from here? There's two things that are missing from here out of the three that I mentioned. The first one is the pay to win stuff in the season pass. Nowhere in here to say that those extra pulls are going away. Those all still seem to be a part of that system. So that system still is pay to win. There's nothing. That was the part I was like, you can't argue that this is not pay to win. This is clearly a part of that gacha system to get more power through the pet system. That's a significant increase in your power. And the gacha pet system itself is completely not talked about here at all. That was my primary worry. That was my primary concern, was that the gacha pet system is such a predatory system that can cause people to spend upwards of $30,000 just to max out one character, by the way, which I didn't say that in the video. I should have. I apologize. One character can take up to $30,000 to get your 3 legendaries. That's not great. And we went through all of the reasons why that whole system was predatory and how expensive it was and what the stats actually could do for you. None of that has changed at all. So even if you removed the season pass, if they got rid of that stuff, and they've already got rid of the gacha and the hero traits, I'm not playing this game with that gacha pet system. That's the worst part of it. So for me, what's happening here, how I view this, my opinion is this looks like anchoring. This looks like what's happening is XD has anchored their game to a position of monetization that was so bad that they can now pull back some of it while leaving the worst parts, and it looks much better to the players because they're like, oh, we won, we got some of the stuff we asked for, this is better than what it would have been, but the worst parts of it still remain. The stuff that if they would have started with that, you would have been outraged. Like if they just had the gacha pet system, those of us who don't like these things would have been very outraged by that. I still think we should be, like, you should still hate this system. You should still hate the gacha pet system. If you think they've done enough here and you didn't like these systems, like, I think there's a bit of a disconnect cognitively there, because most of what has been the problem of this game, as far as what they told you they would do and what they have done, are not changed. Sure, the gacha hero traits is gone. Good. Why couldn't they also do that to the pet system? Why did the pet system have to remain when it wasn't originally there? It wasn't there the last beta test. You can actually go back and watch a good friend of mine, Action RPG, and look at some of the old videos he did of it, and you can see there was no gacha pet system there at all. He was reviewing that without it and actually had to change his opinions because of what they did afterwards. So these systems weren't planned initially, or weren't at least told to the community that they were going to be planned for. They pushed them in the beta system, the last beta, without telling anyone they were going to do it. And they're like, okay, we'll pull some of it back. But all this other stuff is still there. All this stuff you were told wasn't going to be there, it's still there. So this isn't enough. I'll give them credit for the gacha hero traits going away, but this is not fixing what I said in the video. Most of what I had a problem with the video is unchanged. It's completely unchanged. They really changed one thing. The season pass, the one thing they changed about it, I didn't really care about, and then they added some more stuff to it that give you more benefit. I don't see how that's better. And the gacha pet system, not even talked about. Like, they don't even address it as a problem in here, which that's the primary feedback. Like, that's the primary issue. So this just feels a little bit like pulling the wool over our eyes. Like, hey guys, we're totally listening to you. Look at us change these things that don't matter that much, and we won't talk about the other stuff. So that's where I am in with it right now. I think that a lot more needs to change for this game to be playable for people like me who don't like those systems, and for it to be a game that I consider to be ethically, on the up and up. I'm sorry, I cannot accept predatory systems as being good ethically. It's never going to be okay to me when you prey upon people who have impulse control issues and potentially gambling problems, and you knowingly do it with psychological tactics, which are all still there. That's what the gacha system is. None of that has gone away. Could it go away in the future? Do they potentially have plans for it? They might, but we don't know about that. You can't use the argument, well, they could change it in the future, so why are we talking about it? Because they haven't changed it, and if you want something to change, you have to provide the feedback to the people who can change it. So that's what we're doing. We're providing that feedback. Listen, XD, if you plan on changing that, please tell us now. I would love to say, hey, look, they actually did the right thing. Hopefully they stick to that, but they actually did the right thing. Look at that, great. But I can't do that right now. It's just not on the cards as long as that system's in there. They haven't done the right thing. They've done the wrong thing, and they need to do more. They need to remove that pet system, and also should remove all that extra stuff in the season pass that gives power before they've done the right thing. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we can get back to more, positive, fun content after all this goes away, but I definitely did want to address this because it's true, they did make some changes. They somewhat affected my video, so here is the response to that. Thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all again real soon.